Hey, welcome to Saturday's Cousins. We a day late. I do apologize. The only excuse I have is that I wanted to be with you today. I wanted to be with you this weekend. I want to talk about your business, but now I'm going to talk about my business. Today, I am making some soap. If you see on the other screen, you'll see where I am going to have it. Right now, I am making my dots. Now, you remember from the other soap. Let me get that one out here to show you. See, this is the other soap with all the dots. I like the dots because as your soap starts to get worn down, it's just a little extra creature comfort. I like it. But today I am making my dots. First I'm going to get ready. Put my gloves back on. Or actually some new gloves on. Looky here. I got me an apron. I'm acting right today. For once, I forbade you. Alrighty, folks. So what I'm making is I'm doing just different colored dots. There is no rhyme to a reason to the colors I choose. I just like them because it makes it a little on the fun side. And most everybody know, sometimes the only time you get to yourself is that one few minutes you have in the bathroom to not think about somebody else or some situation or what have you. Maybe you take a bath, maybe you take a shower. I don't know. But one thing I do know, showering is one of the people who's, a shower is one of the craziest multitasking things people do. The reason I say that is because you are standing on a slippery surface, pouring water down you, and applying a slippery agent such as soap to you. You're maintaining your balance, and you're just doing that, and then you start to wash your hair, and you got your eyes closed. So you're standing on a slippery surface, applying some sort of lubricant to you, and God bless you all. Every day you don't know what it is you survive, but then sometimes the smallest things will trip you up. Remember that. Now with the dots, when I make the dots for the soap, I do not add any fragrance to them. What happens when you add fragrance to your dots or to your embeds is that they will, when you add fragrance to the embeds, when you pour soap around them, the fragrance will make the embed kind of leak the color. It can look kind of cool, but most of the time not. It looks like your embed had a blowout. So with making my embeds, I use my odds and ends soap and stuff like that. These ones I'm using pieces of soap that I have left. I just ordered more soap because I ran out. I got my triple butter and I got my goat's milk. Now I'm just waiting on my glycerin. Yay! But I did buy some glycerin so I can make my embeds today. Doing blue. I'm gonna do purple. Let's see, blue, purple, gold, silver. Let's see, well, I don't have any silver. I have gold. I'm just gonna have a bunch of embeds. All right, so I just melted that. Yes, I am using the same jar. Put a little moisturizer in there. Make it a little more moist. These are just like the remaining bar of the soap. They will moisturize your skin. And we go for 4, 6, 7 dots. Okay, now I'm going to sit you over here. Now, when doing your soap, you never want to take, you know what, some of this is going to go in to fill in. Oh, no, I just dropped my alcohol. Great. Well, I should have made sure the lid was on tighter. Off goes the gloves. Well, I use 91% alcohol, so it'll dry quickly. See? So I'm going to need to reheat my soap. I'm going to wash my hands and a piece of my ultimate oatmeal. I want to show you how this foams up. Look at that. And the foam, it feels really smooth. It glides. It just feels great. Then afterwards, hands are nice and soft and smooth. Oh, nice and soft and smooth. You know how crazy life turns around? When I started all of this, all I was doing was making soap. Then I started seeing what other people had out there. And I'm like, huh. Then I started seeing some epoxy resin. And I was like, oh. And as I used it, I liked it so much. So now I make functional art. I make, of course, soap. And I make a face mask. And there we go. Put this back in here. This here is water that I keep at a very high temperature. And it's nice because I can rinse my stuff out in it. I keep a little hot jar over here. That way I can put my utensils in it in between my usage. Okay, so alcohol is kind of like a glue for soap. This way, in these partially filled in ones, when I put soap in there, it won't break apart when I go to demold it. And I am not super proficient at pouring this exact yet. And you know what? I don't feel bad about that. Because I have my tools that I can use. So, my tools, just go like that. And that will fill those up. We got that left over. I'll just go heat this up again and pour it on top of that and make all of that work together. Oh man. So how's your 2024 so far? Mine's going okay. Okay. So now I'm going to do some glycerin. I'll show you what I'm doing over here. Okay, so the hot water I just poured in my glass that I was making soap with, because I'm going to do a glycerin. I want to clear all of this out. And I know somebody's out there going, that's product. It is. And usually I will save the product, but right now I'm filming. Now I'll figure out how to do it on film. See there. Now, I normally use Stephenson's soap, but I had a project I wanted to get completed. So I got this olive oil glycerin soap. We're going to see how it does. Close, y'all. You know, the other show last week, when I did that financial disaster preparedness, I was just floored because I think every time I take one of those classes or think about it or do some research, I realize how that I'm always missing something. And with missing something, I also have to take into account the fact that I am here today. So missing something doesn't mean that you're gonna die. Being prepared for a disaster, the main purpose of it is that you can survive a situation comfortably without going crazy. You know, if you have something to eat when you go hungry, you're not going to be worried about it. If you have, I used to work at Washington Mutual when the MasterCard Visa site went down. I don't know who remembers that, but it was a hectic day. You know, I had people saying, I got this going on, I got that going on. One person said, I'm out with my boss. You know, what am I going to do? I said, after trying to talk him down and everything like that, because he was very stressed. Finally, I said, let your boss use his card. He will see his card doesn't work either because the whole thing went down. So that's why it's a good idea to have some cash in there. And, when I'm talking about stuff, that's all I'm doing is sharing what I learned from my experience in walking on this earth. So if that's all right with you, then that's all right with me. Now, a good way to if you want to talk about your experiences, I'd love to have you on. Okay, so here here we are. Vitamin and moisturizer. And doing purple. Now, one thing that you will notice with when you're using glycerin soap and you add color to it, the color comes out pretty true. But when you're using white soap, such as, well, just white soap, goat's milk, shea butter, different types of soap, you will find that your colors come out a real pastel. Now, what I have noticed is that when I use liquid food coloring on my opaque soaps, opaque means you can't see through it. When I use a food coloring in those, they actually come out a little bit darker, which is why you see the blue I'm working on here so prevalent, because I use the food color. Figure you can eat it, you can wash your hands with it. See? Okay, so I'm going to do a few more dots, not as many as I did before. What I did before. Actually, I don't have to worry about doing half because I'm going to do some of those squares and circles too. So that'll be cool. Actually, I'm going to use a mica powder on this one. Okay. So these mica powders. See a little better. They're all good for soap. Henceforth, that's why I keep them in this box. Okay, so what do we got here? I got a lilac, a violet. And I got that. I'm getting some ideas here. Okay, I think I'll use a mixture of those. Stirring sticks. Not quite ready. So how my soap journey start. I had very bad skin. All kinds of prescriptions, oils, ointments, little bit this, little bit that. Let me pray for you, blah, blah, blah. A lot of it didn't work. And, I had extremely dry skin. So I'm going to start out with the rosemary. The rosemary flower. It's purple, like kind of a lavender. Now, what I like about the mica powders is they have the pearlescence to them. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do your mica powders, and I just did mine the most inefficient way ever, which is to pour it right in and then stir. The best way to do it is to mix your mica powder. I'm going to have to put some in here anyway. So you take a spare cup. See, I had it here. Pour some alcohol into it. And then you put your mica into the alcohol. And when you go to mix it with your soap, it's already liquid and ready to mix with your soap. And alcohol, it stays with your soap. It evaporates, so you don't have to worry about adverse effects. See, this is what it looks like when it's all like that. So you can see really well with that. Just get this all mixed in here. And then when you go to put it in here. Now, the more color you use, the less translucent your glycerin soap is going to be. Look at that. Nice rich color. Okay. Look at that. I'll take you with me. Say, good Lord. Okay, so I'm going to get you back in the hot water. Put you over here. This is what I meant by the circles and the squares. So that's enough of that one. I want to add the other purple in here, the darker one. Now, when you're using something, if you're using the same glass because you're working on the same piece of artwork and you want to add different colors to it as far as your mica colors, or even if you're using the same, utensils, you want to start out with the lightest and go to the darkest. Oh, man. I have a little bit left over, so I'm going to fill in the rest of these dots here. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to be making another video because I've got soap to make. Trying to get my presence out there, so please like, care, and share. Subscribe. Ask me questions, almost any question. Well, I like to say I know everything, just not on demand. And that's a joke. But yeah, I'm Sonya with SEH Unlimited. Thanks for watching. You have a good evening now. Thanks for hanging out while I was making some soap. Bye.